I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve. So come on, let's step inside and I'll show you how. So I'm going to do this video right on my cell phone. I'm not going to worry about the audio, that'll be a different video. Alright, let's get into it. Before I start the video here, I want to let everybody know that I did a video on the general interface layout of DaVinci Resolve and how to navigate around the different windows and stuff like that. So I'll link it down below and you can take a look at it there if you're confused as to what we're doing here. So first off, let's start with an untitled project. Let's bring in some media. It's asking me if I want to change the project frame rate. Now, because the cell phone cameras these days record in variable frame rate, that means that they're not going to be clamped down to the 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, 24 frames per second, whatever we choose. Sometimes they might be something in between. So we want it to be the same as our clips. So yes, let's change it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put together the intro to this video that you're watching right now. So we'll start off by selecting our first video. Now, as I've shown in the intro, we can shrink and grab and find the spot by dragging this little box around. I prefer to bring the playhead to where we want. Press I on the keyboard for mark in. I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve. That's great there. O to mark out. We're going to grab this now, drop it into our timeline to start putting together our video. Go back to our video. There's still more here that I want to grab. So let's move this to where I start talking again. So come on, let's step inside and I'll show you how. Okay, let's get that just before I start moving. Drag and drop. Then we're going to bring in the next video. This is going to have me coming inside from outside. Me there. Let's follow me walking here. I'm going to open the door, stop it right about there. Maybe there, right while I stare at the camera. Let's bring that down. And you'll notice I'm moving the upper timeline over just so I can easily put stuff at the end. Don't have to do that. Now, I've checked this over a couple of times. I believe where I want to start this is right here. Let's see. So I'm going to do this video right on my cell phone. I'm not going to worry about the audio. That'll be a different video. All right, let's get into it. Okay, that's great. The problem, so I've got my selection selected here. The problem is this is off kilter, so we can change that for this whole source view up here before we even drag it down into the timeline. Then we don't have to worry about fixing it down there. So what I want to do is I want to straighten this out because this is not level. Right about there. I'm just eyeballing it there. Let's zoom in a little bit because we want to get, now we've created these bars here because we've actually just taken the whole picture and skewed it. So we cropped in a little bit. And then I think I'm centered. Maybe I could move myself slightly to the left on the screen here. And I've done that. So this is ready. So now we can just drag, drop. If I go down here on the timeline and you look in the inspector, it says that we've kept all those changes. So like the other ones, the inspector, haven't made any changes to those. So with this timeline, right now, we just have one video track and audio track. So V1, A1, video 1, audio 1. And you can see that I've got these different cuts, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got one with a box around it, red. So this is the highlighted one. So if we were to do anything in the inspector or any action that we're taking on this cut is, any action that we're going to take is going to happen to this cut. Also look down at this audio. You can see the audio waveform down at the bottom of this video. So if we want to split up this video, we want to cut things out. So let's see here. Is there something we want to cut out? Well, certainly maybe the end here. There's a bit that we want to cut out. So we line up the playhead. So that's this red one. Have it come to the close to the end there. Now I can do a split. And to do a split, I can use the scissor key over here on the left. I can do Control B, which is the razor key, or I can do a Control backslash. So let's do that, Control backslash. And then you'll notice it's split up the video. So now I've got this clip here and another clip here. And to get rid of that, it's highlighted in red. We can just press backspace or delete. or we can right click and press cut, and now it's gone. So let's just make sure that that lined up fine.
DaVinci Resolve. So come on, let's step inside.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, another thing I want to show you is how to move by frame. So say we get to here and we talk and we want to find out, oh, I just want to move it one more frame ahead. So I can click my right arrow key and I'm moving one frame at a time, or my left arrow key to move backwards one frame at a time. That just gives you a little more granularity on moving rather than just relying on the playhead up here and your mouse. So let's get back into this here, where we were here. So let's start off.
I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in
Looks
DaVinci
good.
Resolve. So come on, let's step inside.
Okay, there's a little bit of a jump here. So to hide that, what we could do is we could zoom in this frame. So let's zoom in this clip, move it around like that. So then when we play it,
Together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve. So come on, let's step inside and
so it kind of hides that. Now coming in here, let's do a transition. And do we want to blur or maybe an additive? So let's do an additive dissolve. So we'll just bring and drag that on. Let's take a look here.
inside and I'll show you how.
Now, you know what? I wasn't moving right. So let's have me in motion. Sarah, I'm in motion. Bring my additive to dissolve.
And I'll show you how.
Let's go through this clip
I'm
here.
going to do this video right on my cell phone. I'm not going to worry about the audio. That'll be a different video. All right, let's get into it.
And before we get moving, let's put a title on here. We'll just do a text title. So I've clicked the titles up here. We'll grab a text title. What do we want to call it? And let's call it that. Now we want to move this. So in the inspector, there's lots we can do with this. We can increase the size. So let's do that. We can change the position. Do we want it there? Nah, let's put it up top. Now that this is blown out, let's see if we can do a drop shadow. So this will put a shadow behind that. So on the offset on the X, there we go. What we can do is we could change the font family. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it as open sans, but what we can do is a font base. Not everything can change the font face. Some can, some can't. But this one we can, so we'll bold it. It's still getting a little blown out there. So what I'll do is let's raise this up a little bit. And then let's actually put a background to it. So what we can do is the background we'll put, you'll see here in a second. Let's get a height for the background. And you see how it's doing this height here? And then let's bring in that width a little bit. And then the opacity of that background, let's darken it up a little bit more. So that's this one here, opacity 77, it's darkened it here. And so let's see here.
I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve. So come on, let's step inside and I'll show you how.
I don't like the title up above my head there, so let's see if there's something else here on the setting. Let's do the zoom. Let's do that. Position over. Maybe up. So let's try this.
I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve. So come on, let's step inside.
And then when it comes here, let's get that there. Okay. So it's not the greatest, but we're not going for perfection here. Another thing that I want to do is I want to add this DaVinci Resolve logo in here as well. And let's have this come down here. So what we need to do is we need to actually have another video track. So down on the video tracks, so I can right click and I can add a video track. That'll give me a video track 3. I can bring my logo, drag it down. So it's just a photo. And now it's in the middle of the screen here. So what I want to do is to make sure it's selected. I'm going to make it a little smaller with the zoom. I'm going to position it in this corner here. So I'm going to do the X to the horizontal. Let's get the vertical, bring it down. And then I want it to only be for the first bit of our video, the same length as our title. So let's do that. Let's see what that looks like.
I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve.
So one thing we could do with this picture is we could change its opacity. So basically make it a little more see-through if we wanted. And I think that looks neat if we got a little bit of the tree coming through. So that's just something that you can do with these videos that overlay other videos. So one other thing we want to do now is we want to add a music track. We need to add an audio track. So what we can do up here is right on this timeline here is we can go timeline actions and we can add audio track. And you see it's added a track right down here. So now I can bring in my audio, drag and drop it right to that track. So now we've got an audio track in there. So let's go take a look and you can see the audio track down here. Now, where do I want it to start? I think I want it to start as I'm walking in. So let's grab this, drag it to start right there. Let me just cut that first bit out. Now, as you see, the audio is way too loud. So what we need to do is we need to turn down the audio on this. So what I'll do is in the inspector tab under audio, we've got our audio selected. We can do the volume. So I'll do -20. Now we got to check to see if that's too low.
Trying to do this video right on my cell phone.
It's probably still a bit too high. But we also need to go to this track here where it's really quiet. Let's turn up the audio on that one in the inspector just for this track. So we'll turn it up to 5. Let's see here.
Trying to do this video right on my cell phone.
Let's turn that up to 10. Let's try that.
Trying to do this video right on my cell phone. I'm not going to worry about the audio. That'll be a different video. All right, let's get into it.
So now one neat thing I want to show you is we can actually take any picture out here and save it. So go up to File, Export, current frame is still. You can give it a name, your first video. Done. We've got a picture of that. I can take a picture of that. And now I can use that for a thumbnail. Oh, we need to cut our music off. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's see what we got going on here.
I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve. So come on, let's step inside and I'll show you how. Trying to do this video right on my cell phone. I'm not going to worry about the audio. That'll be a different video. All right, let's get into it.
So there you go. That's my intro. So now we want to render this to create a video available for YouTube. So File, Quick Export. Will get us some options. We could pick YouTube and then we could export. And you also note that you can sign into YouTube, put in your credentials, and it'll upload the video straight to YouTube. Another way that we can do this is we can do the quick export button. Brings up the same option from the file quick export. You'll notice that the file name that it picked was timeline 1. That's the name of our timeline here. You can change this. You could change it at the time that you save it there, or we could even change our timeline here. Your first video. So now when we do the quick export, your first video. So let's do that. Let's go quick export, YouTube. It's going to do it in 4K because that's what I recorded in. Export. It's going to put it into my videos folder and save. So it's done. The video's there. It's ready to play. There's my videos folder, your first video.
I'm going to show you how to put together a simple video in DaVinci Resolve. So come on, let's step inside and I'll show you how.
Another way that we can do this is we can do this on the deliver page. So we can come in here. We can either do a custom export or we can go to YouTube, pick either HD or 4K, sorry, 1080p or 4K, which is 2160p. And then you can go to add to render queue, your first video, because it picked the timeline name that we changed it to. Press save. You've got a render queue here, so it adds it the job one up here. Render all. And you watch it as it moves through the video. It's rendering. It'll show you the progress, show you the timeline here. That's it. We're done. Let me know if you got any questions.